Welcome to HRtbeat, the Highlands Ranch Podcast. HRtbeat is brought to you by Freedle Associates, a heart-centered real estate company with 25 years experience in helping you find your place. Hello and welcome to HRtbeat, the Highlands Ranch Podcast. I'm your host, Jake Freedle, except that today I'm actually going to be the guest. This is my wife, the lovely Ellen Kay. If she were hosting this podcast, I think probably even more people would listen to it. But she's very talented, and she suggested actually that we do this so that my listeners could have the spotlight on me and get to know me, the person who's creating this thing that I'm hoping you listen to. So this is Ellen, and she'll be interviewing me today.
Welcome. Thanks for having me. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube, we are wearing blue blockers because we are super nerds.
And we really need to sleep. We're recording this in the nighttime while our children sleep. And we're really hoping to sleep afterwards with these studio lights blazing in our eyes.
Well, you know my husband, but you don't know just how extraordinary he is. And I'm hoping that we can reveal that a little bit and share a little bit of our history, and get to know you and have you get to know us. So first, husband, Jake, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I grew up out in Southeast Aurora, and I have a wonderful family, mom and dad. Luckily, I'm blessed that they're still around, and a sister who I love very much. I'm a real estate broker. I'd like to think that I'm a kind of an adventurer. I'm always looking for the next thing I'm going to do and kind of recreate myself, which is kind of how this podcast came to be. I love connecting with people. Most activities, if you were to say like, oh, why do you enjoy this activity? I probably enjoy it because I'm connecting with people, right? Like my favorite thing about a hiking with people. My favorite thing about having dinner, doing it with people. And that's some basics.
Cool. Speaking of dinner, Jake is an extraordinary cook. You should just know. So why this podcast?
Great question. I would say to really talk about why this podcast, I think we have to talk about first why Highlands Ranch.
Can I start?
Yes, you sure can.
So we fell in love and we went house shopping.
I think I showed you a house. Being a realtor, I just went and showed you a house maybe 3 weeks into our dating or something.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
So we were young. We didn't have children. We were hip.
We were youngish.
Youngish, hip-ish. And we were not going to buy a house an inch south of Hamden.
Absolutely not. We were Denverites. We were
100%.
so cool.
So cool.
And then we started searching. And what's funny is that we probably started looking in 2017, really. And we thought real estate was really expensive then.
Little did we know. At the time, we were pretty obsessed with Hamilton, the musical. So every time that we'd gear up to go house shopping, we'd pack snacks and we would listen to Hamilton. And how I know that we never went an inch further south than Hamden is that we always got to the exact same song in the Hamilton album by the time we got to the neighborhood we were shopping in.
Absolutely. And then we discovered that we just weren't okay with those houses. So we went an inch south of Hamden.
Before going an inch south of Hamden.
Oh, is that true? Is that when we did it? We went to Stapleton, way north of Hamden.
Way north.
We started in, we didn't start in Stapleton, but we were beaten down into Stapleton. New build. We went under contract. We put our earnest money down.
And we picked out every paint color, every light fixture, every doorknob, every countertop. And then
on New Year's Day.
We're walking the dog.
We're at the park. And I was full of tension and energy because I had realized that I had to tell my wife.
Not wife.
Oh, you weren't my wife yet. Yeah, that's right.
We weren't even engaged.
We weren't even engaged. We were just buying a house. Houses were getting more expensive way faster than weddings were. I had to tell my then girlfriend that I didn't think we should buy a house in Stapleton.
To which I said, do you not want to buy a house in Stapleton? Or do you not want to buy a house in Stapleton with me?
And it was just Stapleton.
Oh, my
God. So we got out of that contract and we said, pretty please give us our earnest money back. And they graciously did. Thank you, David Weekly Builders. And we started back searching an inch south of Hamden.
Many inches.
But we weren't going to go an inch south of Arapahoe.
Absolutely not. Certainly not C470.
No, absolutely not. So it was Arapahoe, and then it was like every week, it was like another street. Like, where can we go? And then one day, my father, who is also a real estate broker. So we real estate brokers, we actually need real estate brokers for ourselves, maybe more than normal people do, because we're crazy people. But my dad, who's realtoring us the whole time, counseling us as a couple, sends me, there's the evidence that
baby
number two. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, baby's back asleep.
Baby's sleeping.
Where were we?
Your dad is realtoring us.
Okay, so dad's realtoring us. By the way, Ellen and I just have decided this is probably our last baby. We have two. And gosh, ever since, I just really enjoy those moments when she falls asleep on my shoulder, like just cherishing that while we still have it, or this little baby falls asleep on me.
Yeah, man, lasts with kids. Anyway, that's another podcast for another time.
So we're kids. Dad's realtoring us, and he sends me this house in Highlands Ranch, in a neighborhood north of where we are now on Miners, and it was so beautiful. And I showed it to you.
Well, and back in the day, you could get a lot more house in Highlands Ranch than you could in Denver. I mean, I guess that's still true, but it was like really, really true. So this house was super pretty.
It was super cool. It was a beautiful house, a ballin' backyard. It was gorgeous, really nicely done. And we got outbid.
Yeah.
But it's what took us more than an inch south of 470.
So here we are in Highlands Ranch.
So we found the house. We moved here. Here we are. And then we came here. My dad lives here. He was kind of the inspiration. He wanted us to live close, and he figured out a way to get us to do it. And then my sister moved here. And then my grandma moved here. And then my mom moved here.
It's now called Freedle Ranch.
Freedle Ranch.
Not Highlands Ranch, Freedle Ranch.
And we can never leave.
No.
Then we got here, and I think we realized that we loved it. I think when we were shopping, I just remember we would drive through like Centennial and the places kind of north of the Greenwood Village and all these places. And then we'd get down to Highlands Ranch, and you would describe how it just felt like an exhale.
The mountains,
the trees, just like the mature trees everywhere. Like thank you everyone who's lived in Highlands Ranch and planted so many trees for the last 40 years. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
And so we fell in love with it, and here we are.
Here we are. Okay, so why the podcast?
Why the podcast? There's still a little more. We're almost there. Long story longer. We got here. We got engaged. I proposed. I think I proposed right before we bought the house. We were waiting for this house.
Yes.
And proposed. And we got here, and we spent the next year of our lives like very immersed in engaged life, planning the wedding, and really just kind of like, being busy generally, and still just driving to Denver to see our friends and doing all that kind of things. And then there's that pandemic. Came along.
Yeah, pandemic.
So we spend this year, we get married, we go on a honeymoon, we come back, and the pandemic is on, and
we're pregnant.
And we are stuck at home. And at the time we were actually in this program, and there was a project that you wanted to take on, like in preparing for being a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
That you were going to like start reaching out to people in our neighborhood and like create this neighborhood community.
I was going to knock on doors and do like muffins in the backyard and like bring your dog in a donut and we'll go for a walk.
And suddenly it just did not feel like a good time to knock on people's doors.
Did not.
So my head's down, again, in real estate. And as soon as they opened the market back up, there was like a scary 2 months where they said no showing houses and no going to restaurants and none of that. And then as soon as they said, okay, show houses again, I did nothing but work for the next 2.5 years. And then the real estate market is a lot different now. And we've woken up and we have 2 kids, and it's incredibly hard to drive to Denver to hang out with the friends and their kids. And we realized, wow, we need friends here.
So we started accosting people at playgrounds.
Yeah.
In the swimming pool. That's a really good place to pick up parent friends.
At the grocery store.
The grocery store.
Yeah. Anywhere we can find parents. If you're a parent and we see you and you are a little friendly to us,
we'd say it's on.
We're going to get you. Yeah. And so we're still not at Why the Podcast, but here we are. I really wanted to create something, kind of going back to your idea of this community project. We love Highlands Ranch, and something that feels really easy about living in the suburbs is, one of the reasons we love the suburbs is we have this big private backyard all to ourselves, right? But it's so easy to go about your day. You come out your garage and you drive to work and drive off to wherever you're going. And then you come back and you're tired and you go in your garage and you go straight into your house and you go straight into your private backyard and you have planted trees. There was 40 years of people have been planting trees to create more privacy in their private backyards. And it's so easy to just not connect with people.
Yeah.
And just keep your head down and do your thing. And this was an idea that I just wanted to create something to connect more deeply and really immerse us in this community.
Yeah. And
already I've made some amazing connections and met some really interesting, cool people. And I just want that to continue. I kind of want to know as many people here and be able to help people and connect people with other people. And if there was one goal of this podcast, it'd be like to encourage parents and other families to like accost other people at the swimming pool.
It's gone well for us.
It's gone great. We've met some nice people. Hope you're listening. And that's why the podcast.
That's why the podcast. Yeah. So what do you love about Highlands Ranch?
Yeah, I really do love being close to all our family. We're so blessed. Awesome. And I love the trails. Mm-hmm. I love generally just like driving around and seeing all the trees. Whenever, if you're out for a walk, you're out for a drive, there's just trees everywhere. It's wonderful. Yeah. Even having lost 16,000 trees last summer, we still have tons and tons of trees. Yeah. I think that's my favorite thing. The people are really nice here once, they're open to being accosted at the swimming pool. So that's nice. But yeah, the walking trails are incredible. And
I love the birds.
You love the birds
and the eagles. I saw a blue heron today. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
And I really do love our home. It's a beautiful place to live. We have a ballin' backyard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it here.
What's your favorite spot in Highlands Ranch?
We've got a couple things I'd love to talk about there. My favorite place in Highlands Ranch is if you go on the south side of Highlands Ranch, there's a red-tailed hawk park, which is a beautiful park. And then right above it, it's kind of like the east-west trail kind of comes up to there. And then you go up this hill and there's this big hill on top. And it's like there's this compass thing.
Oh, yeah. Right behind Mountain Vista High
School, just south of there. What is that place? I can never remember what it's called.
I don't know.
It's like a lookout point sort of thing. And you stand on top of there and you can see all the way north to you can see Denver, and then you can see Paso, you can see Longs Peak, and you can see Red Rocks. If you look really hard, you can even see the Flatirons of Boulder. You can see Red Rocks, you can see Green Mountain, and you keep coming south. And You can see
Mount
Evans, and then you keep going south and you can see like Sedalia and Castle Rock. You can't see the rock, but you can see that area. You can see all the way down to Pikes Peak, and it is such a cool view. And I was a runner. I hope to be a runner again someday. I would just run to the top of that hill and enjoy the view and then run back home.
Yeah.
Then like some other places, restaurant wise in Highlands Ranch, is tough. Our favorite spot is Sierra, which is that technically Lone Tree?
Yes.
Yeah. Ridgegate, down Ridgegate Parkway. That's our favorite date night spot. Mm-hmm. But also, what else we like? My favorite spot is the gelato shop.
Yeah, we love the gelato shop.
Oh man, like we moved here, and I remember having this specific complaint. It was like the only ice cream in this place is Cold Stone.
Sorry, Cold Stone.
Don't want to throw too much shade there, but I'm kind of an ice cream snob. We ate ice cream like every day, gelato rather, every day on our honeymoon in Italy. And so it was like, we need a quality, like a really cool mom and pop sort of ice cream shop. And thank God they opened Gelato and Co.
Yeah.
And the Barsness family owns them. We're coming for you. They're coming to interview soon.
So good. Yeah. It's so cute. So our oldest daughter is almost 4, and we really did not do sugar, no ice cream. I don't know, till she was maybe 2.
2. Yeah, 2 years old. We made it.
But then when we ripped the Band-Aid off of ice cream, we were at Gelato and Co.
We opened
twice a week.
Yeah, floodgates spewed open.
Okay, cool. So we just talked about what you love about Highlands Ranch and your favorite spots. What changes, or what do you think Highlands Ranch needs? What's missing? Yeah,
I think the biggest complaint we all have, especially those hipsters of us who moved here from Denver, is the restaurants. Mm-hmm. There's just there's a there's a few cool spots. There's Old Blinking Light, and I like Smoking Fins and Lansdowne Arms. Those are cool joints. They're good, but there's just it's a feeling of everything is corporate. Mm-hmm. It feels like here, which, I guess maybe you say that's just what the suburbs are, but Highlands Ranch feels like such a much cooler place than just like any old suburb, right? It should be cooler, right? Yeah. I'd love to see something like a Stanley Marketplace, mm-hmm. like they have in it's not, we've been calling it Stapleton, it's City Park these days. Yeah, I'd love something more like that. Love to see more mom and pop sort of stuff. Just like some independent, little places here and there. Yeah. I'd love that. That's one of the biggest things I would love to change, love to see change here.
Yeah, I got that.
Mm-hmm. And then other than that, I think something I see for Highlands Ranch is just more identity as like a Highlands Ranch as a community, mm-hmm. Which is really what we're trying to do here is how can you just feel more like we're Highlands Ranch folks and this is our little town, because it's a pretty big, it's a township. It's pretty big, much bigger than like Parker, but it's like Parker feels like it has this little identity of its own. You're like a Parkerite, and Highlands Ranch is just kind of like this suburb. And I'd love to see us have more of an identity of we're Highlands Ranch. Yeah. Here we are. Just like a little backtrack. Both Jake and I grew up in Colorado, which means we've been making fun of Highlands Ranch our entire lives. I can't believe we haven't said that already. I know. I'm how did we forget to say that? Yeah, we totally have been making fun of Highlands Ranch since we were kids, especially from Aurora. Well, Aurora was the Highlands Ranch was like the nicer version of Aurora. And so we made fun of it because we thought all these kids were like rich kids and, hoity-toity. And and then you're in Boulder, so I'm sure there's like a whole different. You were like looking down on suburbs, just generally. Generally, yeah, mm-hmm. yeah. So maybe why the podcast is to redeem Highlands Ranch to our inner child. We're trying to redeem it. We're trying to redeem it. Give it something good. Okay, now are we ready for the last question? I think we're ready. Yeah. Okay, so maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't.
But the intro music for this podcast, it's so cute. I don't know if you like it being cute, but it's so cute. So tell us about the intro music for the podcast.
Yeah. So how I've imagined this podcast is kind of like I wanted to poke at the garage thing, right? This idea of like all these big garages and you come in straight through the garage. Mm-hmm. And so, it starts with the sound of the garage opening. And it's kind of like the garage opens and we go out into the world. And then it ends the opposite way where the music closes and the garage door closes and we're done with the world. But the music is inspired by Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I loved Mr. Rogers as a kid, and I think he was such a wonderful human being. And he was really just like making a community. He was out to educate children and in a really powerful way. And it was just like, let's not just give them crap entertainment. Like, let's teach them about their feelings. And I love children. And I just love the idea of, he would have the neighborhood police officer would come over and the mailman would stop by and say hello. And I want that sort of vibe for Highlands Ranch. Yeah. Just be closer and be more tight knit. And, so I figured out how to get a song that invoked Mr. Rogers. And then the garage is kind of poking fun. And I love the idea of kind of like, hey, let's get out of our garages and into our community.
Yeah. I love that. I had no idea that that's what the garage was about.
Oh, that's funny.
Learn something new.
Yeah. That's right.
How did our daughter respond when you shared Mr. Rogers with her for the first time?
Oh, man. She was like, it's boring. That was a sad day.
We just said, you're wrong.
You're wrong on this one, kid. Yeah. But she's given it another try.
It went better the second time.
It went better.
I think.
Yeah. So here she gets more curious. And then I just let's talk about this logo. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're not, here's the logo. And of course you clicked on the button if you're on your iPhone. But yeah, this is actually, this is the Highlands Ranch Mansion, windmill. And not far from our house is basically this view of the windmill and the mountains in the background. And one day I'm hoping to like knock on the door of those people who can just look at this and just like, hey, would you sell me your house? When we're ready to upgrade. I created a logo that's the view from your porch. So, but yeah, and it's also a play off of our real estate logo. And there's the moon up there, which is in our logo, and it's our colors. And also, obviously, Highlands Ranch, HRtbeat is that's the play there. Yeah, that's that.
That's that. Well, our intention is for this to be part 1, and there'll be a part 2. Get to know the man, Jake Freedle. Mm-hmm. But I'll let you know how it goes after Jake tells me how I interview him. We'll see if there's a part 2.
You did a great job. Okay, oh, well, that's it. That's it for part 1 of Behind the Scenes and an interview with my wife.
I love you.
I love you. Bye.
Bye.